Welcome to the Time Bomb channel, guys, and of course I'm your host, the Bombardier. If I may, I want to dedicate today's video to an American buddy who just passed from a somewhat short battle with cancer. He was one of the best curmudgeons I've ever had the pleasure of working with. So this one's for you, Ira. Semper Fi, my friend. Okay. So today I've got a review of a watch that I referenced in another one of my videos, and have had a couple of requests to get on and review it, so here goes. And the watch today in question is from Helm Watches, and this is the... Sorry, there we go, let's try that, move that camera a bit. Fiddle fiddle, out of the box. Focus. The Helm Khuraburi. What can we nickname this? What can we call this? I mean, the Kraken, I think, is probably the best way to go forward with this one. I absolutely love this watch for the many reasons which I will endeavour to go into here during the review. So the Khuraburi is not actually named after the Kraken. It's actually named after a coastal town in southern Thailand. And apparently there's some outstanding diving to be had there in the Andaman Sea, and it looks something like this, well, at least according to Google. Anyway, back to the watch. What we are looking at is a super solid stainless steel automatic diver with sapphire crystal, super luminous bezel and dial, 300 meter depth rating that is ISO 6425 compliant, and all for the amazing, silly price of $300 US. And that, in my humble opinion, is setting the bar pretty damn high for many competitors. Clearly, again, just in case anyone gets irate, I'm not an employee of Helm, and I'm not suggesting how you spend your cash in any way at all. I'm just saying that from my experience with watches and from being underwater for extended periods of time, the Buri is simply an outstanding timepiece. Just to add a little bit of background on Helm themselves, as I suggested just now, they're a micro brand. They were founded by an American chap called Matt Cross back in 2014, and yes, their watches are produced in China. There are many, again, as I'm sure I don't need to tell most of you, there are many micro brand dive watches out there, each offering their own takes on this stalwart of the watch genre. So trying to pick out the USP for them is becoming, I think, sort of increasingly difficult. So my take on the Helm Khuraburi is that it's simply a purely professional dive watch that personifies, if a watch can personify anything, value for money backed up with solid build quality. And again, $300 US for a brand new beast of a watch. I'm stoked, dude. Absolutely stoked. But I'm getting a lot of reflection off there. Let's try and calm that down. All right. Moving on. As you'll see from my other watch reviews, I can't afford $1,000 watches, and I would rather have 3 watches for the price of one of those ones at $1,000. But hey, that's just me. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there who can perhaps afford a bit more. But if you can't, I think you're certainly heading in the right direction with this. Helm currently offer 3 models of watch. There's the Vanuatu here, which is the first watch that they produced, the Komodo, and then of course the Khuraburi, which is the watch that I have here. All 3 of their watches are ISO 6425 compliant, making them professional diving instruments that I think truly fit for purpose. They run the ISO tests themselves. And just for a bit of extra background, essentially the 6425 requirements are legibility and reliability underwater, with 50-hour submersion tests, condensation testing, resistance of the crown to external forces, water tightness against immersion, again in immersion, sorry, and lastly thermal shock at something around 40 degrees Celsius, 5 degrees, and vice versa. There's a bunch of tests like that. From my sofa research on Helm, they did have quality issues with the first Vanuatu's that came out in its first iteration, However, as a consequence, they changed the production partner, and again, I cannot now find any negative feedback on build quality or reliability of the watches. On the contrary, a lot of highly respected reviewers are giving the HELM a big thumbs up on the improved quality, and I think you can certainly see that here in the watch. Frustratingly, for some of us punters, they are a small company, so they don't produce high volumes of stock. The latest release was 200 watches. So basically, if you want to buy one, you need to sign up to the alerts and then be online when they are released, and make sure you have made up your mind about which colour variant you want, and add it to your shopping cart with zero procrastination, as they will sell out in a matter of minutes. They release new batches every 3 months, and specifically here for the Khuraburi, the next one is going to be in October of this year. This to me adds a little bit of a challenge to getting one of these, and admittedly the first time I failed and it kind of wound me up. Basically the website crashed as I was trying to purchase, simply because so many people were online at the same time trying to buy. They sold out within a matter of minutes, and yeah, I'm sure that's probably going to annoy a lot of people out there who were looking for a similar experience to me. Was right, I've made my mind up, this is the watch I want, so I want to buy it, which you clearly cannot do. I just didn't get why I needed to jump through all of these hoops, and why that might add to the semi-exclusivity of the watch, etc. But anyway, second time round, I'd learned my lesson. I was online, I was organised, and clearly here's the result. Interesting note on eBay, the price doesn't drop on these models, so they're still in high demand. There's only about 2 models, two Khuraburis on eBay when I checked just yesterday. Second-hand models themselves, again, are selling pretty much at RRP price. Okay, so I'm going to drop this one, pop this up for a second while I introduce you very quickly to the other models. So, as I said, we've got the Komodo, which is slightly smaller at 40mm in diameter. For me, the dial and the design not really doing it for me. However, I'm sure the smaller size is certainly going to make it. Sorry, camera get out of focus. The smaller size is going to make it more of a daily wearer for many people. And then there's the Vanuatu here, which is again 42. I really like the design. I think that engineer style bracelet just looks awesome. So up on screen now, I'm just going to pop up the variants that the Khuraburi comes in. So you've got the black dial, the black and orange, the blue and orange, and then you've got the option of with or without the date complication, and then of course the final option that you choose is whether you've got your crown at 4 o'clock or at 10 o'clock. I'm a lefty, I've got the crown at 4 o'clock and I've got zero comfort issues. No problem at all with it there. When you purchase the watch, yeah, you got your little bar changer here, a couple of extra spring bars. You get the option to purchase a rubber strap at a slight discount. There's also NATOs and canvas straps available also. Coming back to the stainless steel strap that the watch actually comes on when you buy it. There's a little shake here, but nothing untoward. I think the build quality of it looks, I mean, absolutely superb. Makes it look like the dog's nuts. The clasp here as well. For me, I'll get my fingernail under there. Yeah, solid strap. It makes the watch heavy, and I don't think it's perhaps as refined maybe as some higher end watches, but it's incredibly solid and incredibly reliable. The strap itself, just sort of before I start cracking on with dimensions, so yeah, so it's a 22 at the lug, but tapers down to 20 at the clasp. You can also buy alternate bezels or spare bezels. again with different looms for $30 when you're buying with the watch, or $38 if you buy it separately. So all in all, you're getting quite a lot of variation. As you can see, I've just popped it down here. I went for the orange strap. Here's a quick shot of the watch on the orange strap. And yes, orangutans, watch out, the buoy is coming for you. The watch movement obviously changes depending on your choice. So you get the Seiko NH38 without the date complication, and then the NH35 with the date complication. Both these movements being very common in micro brands, and yeah, clearly that's to assist in keeping the cost down. I personally have no issues with the accuracy. They're hacking and manual winding. The 40-hour reserve works fine for me. I don't wear it every day, so I'm just adjusting as required. I don't know the 20, was it below 20, 40 plus accuracy rating on this particular movement. Yeah, I mean, for me, no issues. The case, let's just zoom in a little here. So the case is brushed stainless steel. You've got open that one up again so we can get a better view of it. A screw down case back, featuring that nice HELM sniper scope on the back there. Again, to me, my eyes, humble eyes, it looks very tightly machined. Yeah, uber clean. Yeah, nice. The case itself measures up to 45 with the crown across, and then 49 sort of top to bottom. It's a beefy 16 millimeters in depth. You've got a double dome flat AR sapphire crystal in there. Getting quite a bit of reflection off here, but I think it's actually possibly a little dirty from me handling it. So apologies for that, chaps. Let's try again. Yeah, looking a little cleaner. You've got signed crown here. It's a big gnarly beastie. It's not. Yeah, I just can probably kind of hear that. It's not silky smooth, but it is very reassuring. You've got 120 click bezel. Solid movement, you're not going to knock that out of place. As you can see, perhaps it has a slight overhang on the case, but I think that adds to the ease of grip, particularly when the watch is wet, or alternatively when you're wearing gloves. The weight on the stainless steel is heavy, it's 225 grams, or if you bung it on the on your rubber, it drops it down to 115, 120. So yeah, it certainly is a big watch. I think perhaps it's quite similar in size to my old Frog, but in no way as big as our good old friend the Zilla. I mean, the Zilla for me is still my biggest watch at the moment by far. But anyway, we're not talking about him today. So lastly, when you're buying, you've got loom choices. So you've got C3, BGW9, Super Luminova on your hands. And as you can see from the shots that I'm just popping up here now, I love that blue shine. I mean, yeah, just for your enjoyment, couple of shots, enjoy those for a second. Super blue. Negatives. Yeah, people often ask me, well, surely, Duncan, you've got to say something negative about the watch. Okay, so my first one is going to be on the dial itself. It says automatic. I don't get why watchmakers need to tell us it's an automatic. I think perhaps historically there would have been a time and a place for that. It would have been a nice touch, but nowadays, I mean, who looks at somebody else's watch, you know, that closely to see if it says auto or not? I think it's redundant. My only other tiny comment, unfortunately you can't see it actually in real life compared to the camera, the orange palette colour that they've used here is not uniform. So looking through the camera, it doesn't look that bad, but in real life it's different. So the orange on the bezel is a very different orange to the hands and the minute markers on the dial, and then as well the strap yeah, is a completely different orange. Maybe that was a conscious decision from these guys when they were picking those things. But fussy old me, right? Paying $300 and you want everything to match up. As I say, bizarrely on camera, it looks pretty much the same, but in real life, as I say, there's a definite hue hue variance there. Anyway, enough of my rambling. Let's wrap up. To me, this thing is absolutely superb. And if you own one already, it would be great to hear about your experience with it, or perhaps with the Vanuatu or the Komodo. Let me know what you think. You know, positive experiences. You know, are you wearing it every day? What are your thoughts on it? As I say, it's quite a weighty piece. Yeah, but for me, amazing. That price, bloody brilliant. Probably can't say that on YouTube. Anyway, moving on. So thanks for your time, guys. Thanks for viewing. Yeah, let me know. Cutting the red wire, cutting the black wire. I think I know the answers to that one pretty quickly. Thank you, YouTubers, for your time. Thumbs up, subscribe as you see fit. And until next time, this is your host, the Bombardier, signing off. Cheers.